Kentucky Congressman James Comer. Congressman, we'd like you first to weigh in on this. This is about the media in America, the state of the media today. A new bombshell report out of the New York Times. Former CNN anchor Chris Cuomo allegedly sexually assaulted a female worker while he was at ABC. She denied his proposition for sex. This accusation was delivered to CNN lawyers in December, just hours around the time Cuomo was suspended for advising his brother, then Governor Andrew Cuomo, on how to dodge his own sexual harassment accusations. So when you see that story, what's your reaction to the state of U.S. media today?
Well, the media has a lot of problems. I mean, you're seeing that in the declining viewership. Americans want the truth. They want fair and balanced news. That's why Fox Business, Newsmax, these shows are on the rise. You look at how the media has handled Trump, Republicans. If you look at Kavanaugh and all the confirmation hearings from conservative Republicans where Democrats accused Republicans of sexual harassment and wrongdoing, the media was all over that. But when Democrats do it or when their fellow colleagues in the media do it, they try to cover it up. So it's just a state of hypocrisy here. And it's another reason why more and more Americans don't trust the media.
Yeah, I mean, the credibility crisis hits the media, the White House, Congress, the NIH, the CDC. The media personally attacking John Durham. They failed to report the bombshell allegations Hillary Clinton campaign paid computer researchers to data mine computers in the White House and Trump's New York apartment building to spy on Trump. Instead, they're going full on, about other topics. And it feels like the viewer out there is not getting the information they should on things like the origins of the pandemic, how crime has blown up in this country because of defund the police, because, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Cori Bush, Rashida Tlaib, Katie Porter, Ayanna Pressley said defund the police. It goes on and on and on. The media's not covering things like Hunter Biden and his selling access and the corruption stories there out of his own laptop.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They're not. The way they report on Republicans, they will take a tip and run with it, whether it's verified or not. They'll continue to double down on it. And when they learn, like we've learned with this whole Russia hoax, that it was all a scam, they report nothing. When it's a Democrat, they turn a blind eye. Look at Hunter Biden. Look at Hillary Clinton. Look at all the scandals in the Biden administration. You don't see anything in the mainstream media about that. It's still about Trump. It's about Republicans. Whether it's Kavanaugh's confirmation of the Supreme Court, whether it's anything about Donald Trump, whether it's any Republican, the media will go all in. When they're proven wrong, they won't admit they were wrong. Sometimes people make mistakes, and I'm sympathetic to that.
Yeah.
But you see the liberal mainstream media, they will not admit they were wrong. They turn a blind eye to the Democrats. It's just, it's sickening, and that's why people just don't pay attention anymore.
It's becoming like a security crisis. If you have such weak White House computers that a political opponent can data mine and get information to go after that rival, if you've got Hunter Biden selling access to his father worldwide in places like China with the military intelligence backing companies there, in Russia and Kazakhstan, Romania, and more, if you have the security crisis, domestic security, with defund the police, right, causing crime to pop, let's watch an MSNBC guest blame the pandemic and vaccinations for rising crime. Watch this twisted logic. Watch.
So it's totally unsurprising that street crime is up this year because last year nobody was on the street. Now, with widespread vaccinations and the lifting of restrictions, there are many more people who are out.
Your reaction to that?
It's total BS. I mean, they do not report. These liberal shows on CNN, MSNBC, I wonder where they find these guests that come on there. I mean, the explanations and the defense of all the Democrat policies that are creating inflation, that are creating a spike in crime, that are just diminishing our standing on the world stage. They always have an excuse for it. And then they want to pivot and blame Trump or the Republicans. You look at what we've discovered about Hillary Clinton and the Russia scam just over the last week. That's a bigger story than Watergate. You look at what all's been uncovered about Hunter Biden with all of his shady business dealings. That's 10 times bigger than anything they ever accused the Trump children of doing. Yet the media won't report on that. It's just hypocrisy. It's disappointing, and it's why so many Americans are still confused about what's really going on. on in the world. I think more and more people are starting to tune out the mainstream media.
If Republicans take back control, what are you going to investigate? What's on the list?
Well, on the House Oversight Committee, we're going to look at the Hunter Biden stuff. I mean, everything that Hunter Biden's doing traces back to China in some form or fashion, traces back to Ukraine and Russia. I mean, if there's a Russian scandal among a relative of a president, it's Hunter Biden, not the Trump children. It's Hunter Biden. We're also going to look into the origination of COVID. Our committee's the one that's dug up all these emails proving that tax dollars did go fund gain-of-function research. We proved that Dr. Fauci and Dr. Collins were trying to spin the fact that a lot of the early scientists thought that this was a lab leak and this was man-made. They tried to spin the narrative on that. So we're not going to let up. We found a lot of information. We're going to continue pressing on it. Those will be the top two things on the Oversight Committee's to-do list right off the bat.
And you guys found out that, the NIH and NIAID gave a lot of money to those scientists after the fact, millions of dollars in research grants after they changed their story saying it did not leak, from a lab. Okay, Congressman James Comer, thanks for joining us. You'll come back on the show.